Okay, Chad, Kansas City Fall Brawl. I got here at like 3 in the morning. We're here hitting it up early this morning. Good times. First off, how was setup and how was running the logistics of this event, Fall Brawl in Kansas City?
Well, for me, it was pretty chaotic. I've had about 8 hours of sleep in 3 days, so I'm running on fumes right now, but this is great. I love wrestling, and it's a great tournament, great turnout.
We look at the Fall Brawl, and I'm talking to Tyrone Lewis, Eric Aiken. This is they have a training cycle for this.
We bring in hammers.
Did you know that?
Yes.
They specifically preseason nationals, Super 32, Fall Brawl. What's it like to know that? I mean, just those clubs I just said.
Yeah.
They are. You got Neil Arisman here recruiting. You got Bryce Meredith. He's doing a recruiting service. Coach Denny, a legend in the sport of wrestling.
Yep.
You've got these people here, and they're looking for kids. They're looking for athletes. They're looking to help kids. What's it like knowing your guys' tournaments, it's got pull and clout like that?
It's awesome. I started working for Blue Chip a year ago, 1 year ago on October 25th. I've worked in healthcare for 19 years, and they came to me and wanted me to get involved. I've been coaching all these years, and I said, I want to be a part of it. And I'm the event manager for Blue Chip, so I help with this. And I've been coming to this tournament since my kid was little. I brought kids just to watch it. When Bo Nickel wrestled in it, my son was Matt side watching. He was in elementary school. So this tournament is a great tournament in the Midwest preseason to get kids started, and it's really tough bringing in hammers like those guys that you mentioned, Tyrone Lewis and Aiken and those clubs. This is the place you want to be, competing against the big dogs.
You go from healthcare to management for a clothing company, events, getting the product into tournaments, getting eyeballs on it. We talk about that. That's not easy.
No.
But being in healthcare is apples to oranges.
Yeah.
We're talking grapes to watermelons, right? It's a very different thing. How did you adjust to that?
Well, being involved in wrestling for so long, I knew Jason Heslop for years and Gons Medina, the two owners of Blue Chip. And when they talked to me about the position that they had open, it was a no-brainer for me. I was ready to get out of healthcare and all the changes that were going on. And I wanted to give back to wrestling because my son's a senior in high school. So I needed something else to do because he's going to be done. And I want to be involved. And I want to go to some of those big tournaments. So last year I got to go to Midlands and Disney Duels. And so some of those big tournaments, I love to go watch kids wrestle. I just love wrestling. So it was a no-brainer for me to change. The apparel part of it was an adjustment for me, but they've been patient with me and taught me the ropes, and now I'm ready to run.
I was talking to Bryce earlier about the recruiting service that they're offering and working with. But what's it been like as a dad? You're navigating the recruiting waters.
Yeah.
What's that like as a dad? And what's it been like as a dad, as a wrestling dad, as we want you to be a good human dad? How do you balance that?
Yeah.
How do you navigate the recruiting waters?
It's really difficult because unless you know the coaches out there on who to talk to and what level your kid wants to wrestle at. It's really difficult as a dad. I say take the visits that you can take, and check things out. Step number one for my son was knowing what he wanted to major in. So he chose that he wanted to major in accounting. He has a 4.0 GPA and a 28 on the ACT, so his grades are good.
That's your kid's an Ivy Leaguer if he wants. For all intents, that's Ivy League. Academy's Ivy League. Your kid's in the top 12 schools in the country right now if he wants to be.
Academically, he's there, and that's what I stressed when he was little. Take care of work in the classroom first, and then the mat work will come later, and you can choose what school you want to go to. That's how I tell my parents. Make sure your kid's taking care of the classroom stuff first, then take care of the wrestling, and then it'll all take care of itself.
Okay, so I thought I was a Division I guy. I went and I won. I was 60 and 58 in college.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, I should have been at a Division II school.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their kid's D1, right? I don't know your kid. I don't know anything about him. But like, how do you pick the level or let the kid, and how do you guide them to pick the level, I guess is what I should say.
I kind of surround myself by masters in the sport. So when I moved to Kansas City 12 years ago, I became friends with Gary Mayab, Mike Haggerty, and they worked with my son in freestyle and Greco, and they helped me tell me what level he was at. And he's a two-time finalist in Missouri. He's 120 and 21 with 78 falls. So he's a bonus point guy. So, he could go D1 or he could go D3, D2. He's borderline. But yeah, it's tough to really say until you talk to those coaches, and they'll tell you. Really open conversation with coaches. Email coaches when your kid's a junior or senior. Let them know that your son wants to wrestle in college. And then make sure your son's following through with conversation back to the coaches. If your son's not communicating to the coaches, he's not going to wrestle in college. Flat out.
In such a just horrible communication era, generation, they communicate with one another. You know, they'll Snapchat 300 times a day.
Yeah.
They won't send a coach an email
or even a text.
Nothing, right? And
yeah.
How frustrating is that? And do you fight that battle or not?
I fight that battle. I'm on top of his emails. Working at Blue Chip has helped too, because the coaches will tell me, hey, I sent your son a text. So I'll follow up with him and say, hey, you need to respond to this guy. Kids are busy too in the classroom, so I understand that. I give him 48 hours. If you haven't responded, I'm going to be on you. So that's kind of my rule.
What's the goal for Blue Chip? What do you want? You know, you've been with them a year. What's your goal as an employee? What do they communicate to you? What do you want to do at Blue Chip with the sport of wrestling, apparel? What is ultimately the vision of the company? And what do you want to get out of your career with them?
What I want with my career is, and Blue Chip, I want to be at events in every state I can be in. Okay, if I can get event workers to work tournaments, big tournaments in different states, I want to be out there. I want to be at the Disney duels, and I'm talking all levels. I'm talking D1s. We go to D1s and put up a booth in the Fan Fest every year. I want to get involved with D2s, D3s. I really want to expand it and give back to wrestling and show that, hey, Blue Chip is a top-notch company making top-notch apparel for all your elite level athletes down to your youth kids.
I was talking to you about a youth event. We'd like to have you one of the youth events in Ohio. I think that's something where we give you a chance to get a foot in the door. That's something, and that's what your job is.
Oh yeah, tons.
Okay.
I do tons of youth events, all from the little kids tournaments all the way up to D1s and the bigger tournaments.
All right. There's one thing you want people in the United States of America, Canada, North America to know about Blue Chip. What would it be?
Blue Chip, wow, it's a family company, family-oriented company. We're just a good group of guys working. Our production people hammer out shirts like, I don't even know the numbers, but all coming into work every day, you see piles of T-shirts everywhere and wrestling shoes. If you go to bluechiprwrestling.com, you can order the new Freaks, the Inflicts, all the Nike shoes, the Asics shoes. We got them all. You can order them there. That's what I love about my job. When I walked into the Blue Chip on day one of my first day at work, the smell of brand new wrestling shoes had me hooked.
Coach Arisman told me he's got 300 shirts coming from Blue Chip.
Yep.
That fires me up, because guess who gets one?
You do?
I do, right?
There you go.
So, hey, we got this tournament running.
I don't even get in Arkansas.
Well, okay, dip in the bucket a little bit. Come on.
I got to have a talk with him. I'll catch up with him later.
You got anything else for me?
No, thank you very much for coming out, doing what you do, and giving back to the sport. I watch all your videos, so I'm kind of a wrestling junkie. So
that's good. That's what we need. They got to get watched. I don't shoot them to not be watched.
Hey, yeah, you can't set them on it. You got to watch them.
All right.
Every kid should watch Zeb Miller's videos.
Okay, relax. Okay. Hey, thanks for the time.
Hey.
Good luck to you moving forward. I will probably ambush you a couple more times, like I did this morning walking in.
No problem.
And I appreciate it. Good luck to you guys.
Just don't videotape me in the corner sleeping.